Michaelantonio live. I'm not sure if you're going to see me live, but it's a Saturday night. I'm just watching the Steelers Bengals game. And, oh boy, I got to tell you, just got done watching the Syracuse game against FSU basketball. And why is it that when we have an opinion that's quite, strong, and there's a few of you that agree with me here, what is it with people who automatically take you as some kind of a monster because your opinion is a little bit more harsh than others, possibly? Case in point with the Syracuse basketball team. I think that the team has talent, obviously, but I think also we are missing something here. And I think it does go back to coaching. Now, again, before I say anything, let me preface this by saying that I have nothing against Coach Red. I loved watching him play when he was in college. I was around the same age as him at that time, and I watched him play. I thought he was fantastic. But I think there's something missing there in the coaching. I know that a few of you do agree with me on this, and so when I hear people get taken back by that or say something rude, as if to say that, well, you're being rude, you are talking bad about a coach. First of all, I'm not talking bad about a coach. I'm just saying I don't think he's up for the job. I don't think he's doing the job that needs to be done. When you watch this team play, there are things that are missing on that court, and you can see it. A lot of it is consistency. Now, as you saw in this last game here against FSU, you do notice that they did have some bursts of energy and hard. They worked hard to get to certain points. They took the lead a couple of times, so you could see it there. You could see their talent there. They do have the ability to keep up with some better teams, with some good teams. And I'm not even quite sure, to be honest with you. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if Florida State is a good team. I don't know yet. Their record's pretty decent, but I mean, do we really know if they're like a top-notch team, somebody you can really hang your hat on and say, if I beat this team, I really did something? I don't know if you can even say that. So we're in a situation where it's you're losing to average teams, and you're getting blown out by very good teams. Tennessee, Maryland. I mean, these teams just literally. I mean, they blew the doors off Syracuse. It was just a spanking and a half. You know, with these teams. Let me just tell you. I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me the other day, which again, shame on anybody who acts like this. And I'm not going to make this personal because there's no reason to do that. But I had said something to the effect that, hey, I think the coach needs to resign for the good of this program. The coach really is not cutting it. And remember, I mean, I think, people say, well, you got to give him a few years. Look, those days are long gone. In college sports, there's a lot of money riding on these programs. Not only on the programs, but just to let you know, there are businesses that rely on the success of a program. Now, some of you might say, well, why would a business hang their head on that? Because that's maybe all they have. Maybe that's the reason why they're successful, because they have a successful team and they're selling merchandise or food or whatever it is. You've got restaurants near the campus, things going on. Those places rely on success because if the fans show up, then you're going to have more revenue. This is what's going to happen. So I think when I say certain things, I say it with more than one thing in mind. I want to show people that, we have a lot at stake here when you have a position of authority and a position where you're making a lot of money, right? Top college basketball coaches, anybody in like the major conferences, you are making a lot of money to coach a team. And a lot of people rely on that, rely on the success of your coaching. I mean, it's a very, very big responsibility and a major burden. I can understand if it was a lower conference or some kind of a situation where not a lot is riding on it. Let the coach build up the team, whatever. But, when you got like maybe a mid-major or somebody who's trying to get a team up to a certain point where they can compete, I think Syracuse has the resume or they have the pedigree to be able to, they should be able to get the best players or some of the best players. They should be able to be at a level. There's a certain expectation, is what I'm saying. And what happens is that, I mean, it's been a while, guys. Let's be honest. What is it, 3, 4 years now? Like it's been like 3 years since they went to the tournament. It's been a long while since you could be comfortable about this team getting into the tournament, and let alone winning any games in the tournament. I mean, it's been, what has it been? I don't even remember. It was, I think the last time they went to a Sweet 16. What was it? Was it 2018? I think something like that. It's been a long time, and this is not something we should be expecting at Syracuse. You should be expecting success every single year, at least get into the tournament. If you miss the tournament at Syracuse, it should be once every decade, and it should be a fluke. It should be something that just should not have happened. That's the way it used to be. Remember how when we didn't get in, people were shocked. It was like a huge uproar. Now if they don't get in, it's expected. This is what's happening. People are failing at their jobs. So I think we have to expect more out of this team and more out of this program. So how do you do that? How do you do it? You have to expect. We are the fans. Fan bases, okay, don't owe anything to the programs. They owe nothing to the program. So, you know, we're watching a product, an entertainment product. It's up to the entertainers. It's up to the producers, the people who are making that team and coaching that team to create a product that is worthy of us going there and wanting to watch them. That's what it comes down to. And when you don't do that, when you don't provide that product, you're going to lose fans. And the biggest thing is really casual fans, because those are the ones who really drive the casual fan. Those are the ones who show up in large numbers when the team's doing well. That's where you make your money. The diehard fan, you'll make a little bit of money, but you're not going to make much out of them because, first of all, there's not many of them. Second of all, even when you're doing poorly, even they aren't going to show up. Even they might take a little longer to leave, but eventually they're going to leave. They're going to say, I don't want any part of this. So anyway, I said something the other day that, hey, this coach, I think it's time. We can't have this. We must have accountability, or somebody's got to do something. So what happens? So what happens is that this person that responded to me basically said, well, he's not leaving. He's not going to get fired. He's not leaving. That's it. And I said, well, if he doesn't, that just means the fans, that the university doesn't really care about what the fans need, or how the other businesses that surround the university. They don't care about any of those things. They're just going to do what they do, and that's it. So I was basically saying, failure is going to happen. You're going to have major failure here if you do this. And then, of course, this person fires back saying, well, it doesn't matter how much you stamp your feet or scream or whatever, you're not going to get what you want. He's not leaving. First of all, don't talk to adults like they're 2-year-olds. Don't treat an adult like they're your child. Like you're the parent, they are the child. Like, oh, I don't care how much you stamp. If you've ever had a child that throws a tantrum, right, what do you say to him? You say, well, go ahead and stamp your feet. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get your way. Well, first of all, I wasn't expecting my way. I'm just telling you the way things are. I'm telling you the facts of the matter. If this coach continues to lose, it's going to harm the university and all surrounding business, and everything is going to get destroyed from this. And it may take a long time to recover. So the point is that the university cannot wait for this kind of thing. Not anymore. It isn't like that. You don't have 2 or 3 years. You don't have 5 years. You have basically, a year and a half to 2 years to turn something around. This coach was here last year. They didn't make the tournament. They had a better year because they did have some better players, I think. It was a more cohesive team at the time. Now you have a lot of new pieces, but they're talented. They have talented pieces there. Come on, you got a 5-star. This guy, I'm not saying he's Carmelo Anthony, but he should be at a high enough level to where you can use him. You should be knocking on the door at the very least to an NCAA tournament. Now they're talking about this team not even making the ACC tournament, because now in the ACC tournament, because there's so many teams, some of the teams don't even get in. So you have a situation where they may not even make the ACC tournament the way they're playing. They don't have any consistency. They don't take advantage of mismatches. And I hate to say it, but in some cases, they are on the bad end of the mismatch. So, like, the player against them has got the advantage and they use it. So they've got some really bad situations. I don't think the coach puts out necessarily the best players to start the game. You've got a lot of situations. You can see which players are better by now. You know what's happening. So, and again, I'm not the head coach. I am not in that position. I'm not making the big bucks. So people say, well, then you shouldn't say anything. Well, it's my opinion. I can say what I want. So when somebody tells you, when they say to you, well, who do you think you are? You're going to stomp your feet. So I said to this person, look, just cut out the insults. Just state your opinion. Tell me why you think your opinion is better or is going to work out better than what I'm saying. And I have no problem with that. I love the discussion. But no, they got to basically treat me like I'm their 2-year-old. And it's like, that is just unacceptable. So that when I pointed that out, that person begins to call me arrogant. You're arrogant. What do you mean I'm arrogant? Just because I don't want you to treat adults like 2-year-olds? That makes me arrogant? No, it makes you arrogant because you're the one who's trying to, you're the one who's trying to tell somebody they're not allowed to have an opinion. That, who do you think you are? What are you going to make somebody do something? No, I'm not going to make anything happen. But I can tell you this. Look, I'm a diehard fan. I love Cuse. I've been following them all my life. But there's a lot of fans that are not like me. There's a lot of fans that are casual. They only support the team. They only watch the games. They only buy the merch when the team is doing well. And that's where you're going to get hurt. Me, I do watch. I have shut off games. I shut off the last game because it was just a disaster. So, there's times I'll just shut the game off. I'll be like, no, I'm not interested. But when you have diehards doing that, you got a real problem. You have a real problem. And so that's where we are. That is the situation that we are in, where you have diehard fans basically shutting off the games, wanting to watch something else, not wanting to be involved in any way, shape, or form. So that's where we are right now. And just thought I'd get that off my chest because I guess the advice I would give, I don't want to make this just about like a sports team or something, but I guess I would tell people that if you have an opinion, state your opinion. Don't be afraid to say what you think, even if it's controversial, even if it's like a hot take, something that other people might get kind of, bothered. It might bother them. They might say, I can't handle what you're saying. I don't like it. I don't agree with you. That's what disagreement is about. You're trying to kind of stir the pot a little bit to get people to think a little bit outside their box. That doesn't mean they have to agree with you. Just respect what you're saying and kind of go back and forth. Say, okay, this is why I don't think what you're saying is true, but give me a good reason. Give me something. Don't insult me. Don't tell me, where I fall short. Like you're being a child stomping your feet. First of all, I wasn't stomping my feet. I was stating an opinion. Am I frustrated about it? Yeah, I think all fans in this situation get frustrated. But to treat someone like a 2-year-old is not the way to do that. It's not the way to do it. So I think what we need to do here is understand that in these kind of situations, be respectful to people. You don't have to agree, but just because somebody says something that you may think, oh man, that's controversial, I don't like that idea at all. And I don't care if it's politics, I don't care if it's sports, I don't care what it is. When someone has an opinion that you don't like or you don't agree with, it's fine to disagree, of course. It's fine to tell them what you think about it, but at least show the respect to say it in a way where you're getting right to the point. In other words, make the argument for argument's sake. Go towards the point of what you're trying to make, the things you're trying to say, the ideas that you have that may challenge their thought process too. That may make them actually think twice. Don't worry about when you start insulting them. All you're doing is you're never going to solve the problem. You're just going to escalate. You're going to make things worse. And so that's what's happening. So I just thought I'd get that off my chest. Yes, I am frustrated about how the team is going, but I think, does the team have an opportunity to do better? Yes, absolutely. I just don't think it's going in the right direction. There's a couple of concerns that I do have about that. I have said that, well, if people have said that if you get rid of the coach now, or if you fire him at the end of the season, what will happen is we've got these new top recruits coming in. You got Kion Anthony. You got all these people that are supposed to come in to do something about this team, to make this team better, get them back on track. There's people saying, well, if you get rid of him, those players won't come. They'll go somewhere else. First of all, we don't know that. Second of all, maybe they might not come because of this coach. They might know in their own hearts and minds that, hey, this coach is not getting the job done. Do I want to play on a team where the coach doesn't really have everything together, can't really do this job at this level, and it's not going to help me any? It's not going to help my stock, my draft stock, when I want to go to the NBA or whatever the case may be. Maybe I want to go to the NCAA tournament. Maybe this team can't handle that because they don't have the right stuff to do it. So that may hurt them. Second of all, I had a discussion with somebody about the fact that, there are former players, there are people in powerful positions like Carmelo Anthony, the father of Kion Anthony, who might have the ability to make things happen behind the scenes. And obviously, if someone like Carmelo was going to do that, then obviously his son would stay with the team no matter what happens with the coach. So there's several things that can be done. Please comment below. Let me know what you think can be done to fix this team, or actually any team that's having problems, but Syracuse specifically, because we know what we're dealing with here. But I have a couple of ideas. You tell me what you think about these. But so anything short of telling the coach to go away, anything short of that, I would say maybe it's possible to bring in another assistant coach, someone who has a lot of experience at the head coaching position or, assistant coaching position, who can kind of do some tinker with this team a little bit. Look, I think at this time, the head coach of this team really he's not in a position to make call the shots or have his pride. He needs to swallow his pride, and no matter what it takes, you want to keep your job ultimately, then you need to swallow your pride and take some instruction. In other words, have your growth curve be a little bit shorter here, so that you don't have to go through 5 years of this if somehow this university keeps him on and basically decimates the entire fan base. But I think we could do something like that. That's possible. The problem is something like that is, you have a guy coming in, he's going to expect some serious money. Because he's saying, look, I'm the one that's really behind the scenes going to be running this program. Or at least I'm the top advisor. I'm the one that's going to be really making the changes that are going to help this team. That's just one idea. I mean, I don't know if that would work. But, anything short of that, of actually firing the coach. And I don't know about firing in the middle of the season. I'm not sure if that would really work either. But definitely by the end of this season, something has to be done if nothing has changed. I don't think, like, the third season's a charm. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen. So, there's a lot that can be done. And also, obviously, if you do fire him at the end of the season, there has to be somebody behind the scenes that's going to keep those other recruits, here, coming to this school. And finding transfers that want to come in. And maybe this all comes down also to NIL, because you have to have the money to it. I'm not even sure the university, the boosters, the people that provide NIL money, I'm not sure they even have enough to compete. Now, some people have said, I guess people high up in the administration and different people in the boosters community has said that we are very competitive, but I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. I wish somebody would tell me. Let somebody let me know in the comments uh, if they uh, if they know more about that stuff. But I don't know. It is frustrating. I just want people to know that when you have an opinion, state your opinion. Don't be afraid. And when somebody tries to like treat you like you are the problem, like you're like a whiny brat or something because you don't like what's going on and you want changes made, you know what? Don't listen to those people. I'm not saying, I'm not even saying you have to be right about what you're saying. But, all they're doing is looking for people to see them as like, oh, I'm the adult in the room. I am the person who's the steady hand, and everybody else, all these other crazy people, they don't know what they're talking about. It's it's just nonsense. That's the arrogant person. That's arrogance on their part. So, just thought I'd let you guys do this. Yeah, just relax on a Saturday night, expressing my opinions. This is what happens when during sports season like football and basketball season. Sometimes you can seethe on these nights, like a Saturday night or something, or obviously in the NFL on Sunday nights, you're seething about what just happened that day, and you're like, you want to get things off your chest and express your thoughts about it. But I think that I think that things will be all right eventually. But man, it's really frustrating. So, if anybody else has any opinions about this stuff, let me know in the comments. No matter where you see this, let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, I'm going to be coming on here more often, talking about my life and what I'm doing in life. And also, please visit my website. I do have a page on my website that shows you opportunities for making some passive income, things like that to help you out. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So be blessed, everybody. That's the most important thing. God bless all of you, and I will see you guys later. Ciao.